Well, everybody. The ignorance on display once again. The stupidity put out there once again. Really unbelievable. Today, we had Dallas Fed President Robert Kaplan talking about the need for possibly 3 or even 4 more rate hikes this year. Now, that is not surprising and that is not stupid, because that is a display of central banker thinking. It is a display of the orthodoxy of their beliefs and their thinking. It is something that I have been talking about for a while, and I've been repeating this over and over to MMT Trader subscribers, and I've said it here on a number of videos that I have made, saying that I know how the Fed, how central bankers are going to behave. It is very, very predictable, because I understand what they believe, and that means I understand how they think. And if you understand how someone thinks, you can predict accurately how they are going to behave. And they do not hide those beliefs. Those are beliefs that are espoused and embodied in mainstream economics, all of which are wrong. I point that out on a regular basis. I show how they are wrong consistently over and over and over again. But it is easy for us as adherents to MMT and investors / traders to make money, because we understand the behavior of people like central bankers. So that is one thing. He came out with that statement. And by the way, that is something that I have been forecasting and predicting now for a while, that the Fed, although it is sort of sitting on the sidelines and being very cautious and slow with its rate hikes, it will accelerate those hikes for a longer period of time, simply because that is deeply ingrained in their belief system, that that is the way to fight inflation, even though we know, as I've told you, that rate hikes are price hikes and they're fiscal expansions. So that's number one. Number two, Kaplan went on to make this statement. He said that government deficits are unsustainable. Now, that's the part that is idiotic. That's the part that is sheer ignorance. That's the part that is stupid. Those were the comments which I opened this video with. Because a comment like that is a glaring admission of not understanding sovereign money, of not understanding that there is absolutely no question of sustainability when it comes to government deficits, if that government is the issuer of its own currency, and if all of its spending and all of its debts are denominated in its own currency. I mean, what is he thinking? That the United States government will run out of dollars? I mean, that situation, an unsustainable deficit, would be true in the case of a gold standard. It would be true in the case of, let's say, rising deficits in someone else's currency, in some other country's currency. But there is absolutely zero question of sustainability of the deficits when you're talking about dollars and the United States of America. And I have explained to you, I have shown you in the past how in 1943, the deficit went to 34% of GDP. That would be like, what, a 7 trillion deficit today. All right. More recently, just during the financial crash and the Great Recession, 2009, the deficit went to 10% of GDP. The deficit is currently 1.1, 1.2% of GDP. And it doesn't matter. It could go to 50% of GDP. It could go to 100% of GDP. There is absolutely no question of sustainability. Now, if you want to argue that a deficit that large, 50%, 100% of GDP, would cause inflation, then fine, let's have that argument. I'm willing to have that argument, and I would even go as far as to say that maybe an assertion or a claim like that that a deficit of 50 or 100% of GDP would create inflation, I might even go along with that. But I'd have to see the evidence, and I'd have to see how, in fact, that deficit, not how it was created, but I'd have to see what was happening with that net financial asset creation. That's what we can call a deficit, because that's net financial asset creation. What would happen to that? Maybe people would decide to save that. If so, then there is no inflation. So you cannot even go to the next level of that argument. You can't even make that claim without seeing what is going on. So this is once again an example, and I've said this, that the central bankers are zombies. They themselves are zombies. They're no different than the zombies. Let me point out too that the dollar was earlier this afternoon went into a sudden downfall. It has been going down, and it's going to continue to go down, but there was a sudden sharp downfall and then a very, very sharp reversal up. You had a reversal down in gold. Okay, so there were the zombie behavior, the zombies again exhibiting their behavior every single time. I did a video yesterday telling you that it's fascinating to watch, because they literally, their behavior is so predictable. They come out, they open their wallets. So despite the fact that we have seen all these rate increases and the dollar just continues to go down, and all these rate increases and the gold goes up. As a matter of fact, since the last rate hike on December 13th or 16th of last year, gold's up over $100. All right. But they're selling again because there's going to be a rate hike. So it is an incredible thing. They are literally handing you their money. I've said this so many times. Maybe some of you roll your eyes, but I don't know how many more times I have to show you that the behavior is so predictable. It is so wrong. It is so easy for us to make money. One qualifier, of course, got to have mental game, got to have patience. If you have those things, I mean, it's not even work. I'm just sitting here and they hand me their money. It's not work. I don't work for a living. I just sit here and everybody else hands me their money. It's incredible. Same thing with my people, my followers and my subscribers. I had another guy today saying since he joined my thing, which was recently, he's up over 110%. There you go. There you go, folks. Knowledge combined with self-control equals wealth accumulation. Knowledge, understanding, and mental game equals wealth accumulation. And we are not working. We just sit here and they give us, you guys give us your money, not my people. That's how it works. It is so, I mean, it's like, it almost should be illegal. That's how easy it is. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. Start to educate yourself. You don't need to work. When you educate yourself, when you have self-mastery, people give you their money. They give you their money. It should be illegal. Bye.